Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I'm Haley on the Daily, and today we're going to be talking about something a little bit deeper. I don't know if I can do this actually. It's actually a lot harder to talk about this out loud than I thought it was going to be. Third time is a charm, right? Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I'm Haley on the Daily. And today we're going to be talking about something a little bit deeper. It's honestly been really heavy on my heart and on my mind to just talk about this wherever I can and to maybe help somebody if I can, which I know I have a really small following right now, so I wasn't sure if I should make this type of video yet because I guess I was looking at it like this could make or break my channel, like I'm not sure if I want to do this. But today we're going to be talking about how I've dealt with anxiety. I keep moving my head a lot, I'm sorry. So basically, I'm just gonna talk to you like you're my best friend, and honestly, I don't think I've ever really gone in depth about it out loud, so I am just gonna share some things that have helped me. If you see me looking at my phone, it's because I've written down some notes and some things that I wanna make sure that I talk about in this video. My goal is just honestly to help somebody if I can. First things first. If you are somebody that also has anxiety, just know that you are definitely not alone with it. A lot of people might have it and no one really talks about it out loud. So for the longest time, I really thought that there was something wrong with me. And so first things first, know that there's nothing wrong with you. It's completely normal and you just have to figure out your own ways to get through it. One thing that I've learned to tell myself is to try to get it under control the best you can before it controls you. Middle school is probably where it started for me the worst. I would ditch school because of presentations or just anything coming up that I just didn't feel like dealing with. So I stayed home, and when I stayed home, I just ended up having more anxiety about it than whenever I would face it head on. Hey guys, so I'm just sitting here editing right now and I'm realizing that I didn't really tell you guys the type of things that I struggled with, so I figured I would just explain a little bit. Basically, my symptoms was my heart would start beating really fast. Sometimes I would get really shaky. Sometimes I start sweating like on the spot within 0.2 seconds, and I feel like I could pass out any second. My voice getting shaky, and it makes it really hard to breathe and speak at the same time in class or just random situations. I used to struggle to go out in public by myself because of such bad, like, I don't know, people anxiety or something. So I am the last person to judge any type of symptom that you might have because of anxiety. I'm just here to tell you that you're not the only person who struggles with it. I also wrote on this same topic that the more I avoided them, the more that I feared them later and the more that they controlled me. So nothing can have power over you unless you let it have power over you, and that is 100% true, because if you face your problem head on and if you're honest about having that problem, then that takes the power away from the thing that wants to control you. So get it under control the best that you can and face it head on. The best advice that I've learned is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And this is something that's way easier to say than to do. It's really easy to tell yourself that, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get over it one day. But it's a lot harder to do that than it sounds like it is. But it was a public speaker one time, like a motivational keynote speaker. He said, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because if you think about it, you're never gonna grow unless you're uncomfortable with something first. Because being uncomfortable is what makes you grow. Realizing everybody is more alike than different. If you really think about it, we all probably struggle with the exact same things. It's just sometimes people don't talk about it. So when it's not talked about, people think that they're alone with it, when in reality, a lot of people struggle with the same things, which that was something that kind of helped me realize, like, oh my gosh, I'm actually not alone with it. It just feels that way. Another thing that has really helped for me is, which this might be personal to me, but God has really helped me realize that it's actually not about me. So when I think about the greater plan that's involved, it helps me put into perspective just how small I am on this big scale world and just the things that are going on. It helps me realize that it's not really about me. So even if I fail at this presentation or I fail at something, it really doesn't matter. And if you can, open up to the class about it or open up to whoever. It doesn't matter what circumstance it is. Also, if others can't accept that, then that's their problem. So if you decided to open up about it, or just, even if you're accepting it with yourself, if someone else can't accept that that's how it is for you, then that's honestly their problem, and there's nothing you can do about that. But definitely don't feel ashamed about it, because again, you're not alone. There was one day where I was literally afraid to just read out loud to the class. And it sounds like such an easy thing. It sounds so silly to say that out loud.
Guys, I'm back again, so let me just re-explain this story that I'm telling, because this is what happened that day. Basically, we wrote stories and we were supposed to read them out loud, and reading out loud has always been one of my worst enemies in school and just in life for some weird reason, because when I speak, my heart starts beating like faster than it should, and I lose my breath literally over all the words that are trying to come out of my mouth. And I usually end up feeling like I'm gonna pass out or something. And so I told my entire class that, and I told them that I might throw up, that I might pass out, and I told them to be prepared for whatever happened. And so they all just took that, and I got started. And yes, my voice was shaking, heart was pounding. I was going through the motions, but by the end of it, I actually got over it for that time being. I got over it, went through it, and I survived. And it actually made me feel 10 times better knowing that I forced myself through it. So
I did it anyways, and that's the weird thing about anxiety, is that you just never know when or how it's gonna affect you, because it can be different in every single circumstance. Sometimes it's really hard to accept that you have a problem, but when you accept it and you're open about it, it kind of helps. And obviously, I still struggle with this. These are just some of the things I've been reminding myself and telling myself, and it's really been helping me get better, because it used to control me a lot worse than it controls me now. Try to take it one step at a time. I get very easily overwhelmed sometimes, and some people might not understand that, but sometimes the smallest problem to someone else can be the biggest problem in your own head, and that can be really hard to deal with sometimes. So you really just have to take a step back, look at the big picture, realize that your problem probably isn't that big, and if you need to, just take a second and collect yourself, and then try to realize that this issue that seems so big in your head isn't actually as big as it seems. We are all on this journey together. A lot of people have stuff going on that you might not know about, so this is just an overall, just be kind to people and support each other when you can, because you never know what someone might be going through. And I feel like that's something I think about every single day. Everybody has stuff going on. Every single person has something going on that you don't know about. So just do the best that you can. Start small with yourself. Celebrate small victories, even if it's one little thing. It doesn't matter how small the thing is that you are anxious about: going to Walmart by yourself, reading out loud, doing a presentation, doing anything outside your box. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter what it is. Just whatever small step that you take to get over it, celebrate that with yourself. Tell yourself you're gonna buy a nice coffee, or tell yourself you're gonna buy a new shirt. Just really appreciate it when you take a step in the right direction, because it can be a lot harder than others realize it. There was another quote that I wrote down, and it doesn't matter how small you start as long as you do not stop, which that is a very good quote, if I do say so myself, because it's true. It doesn't matter where you start, because where you start isn't gonna be where you end up. So whatever you do, just keep going, just keep pushing through, because it helps to know the world is gonna keep turning. This next tip is going to be more for like panic attacks, or like when you feel like you're about to pass out on the floor, because I have had a few of those moments. And it can literally be sitting in a classroom full of people, and I'm supposed to be paying attention to the speaker or the presentation, and all I can think about is that I'm about to freak out for no reason, just because there's nothing louder than my own inner thoughts. And that's something, this is kind of hard to talk about, I'm not gonna lie. Senses technique, or the 5 senses grounding technique, which I can tell you how I do it, and I can tell you, because I googled it, it's an actual thing. But the way I do it is I just think of 3 things you can touch, 3 things you can feel, and 3 things you can hear. You can also do like 3 things you can smell, just all the senses. The technical way to do it is 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. So that's the census technique, and that can just help kind of reground you and help you realize where you are and that you're fine, and it's just your head making you feel that way. Remind yourself it feels like the end of the world, but it's not, and take deep breaths. This really helps. Sometimes it can be really hard, but you just have to find something that you can focus on, because when anxiety strikes at its maximum, you literally can't focus on anything, or at least that's how it is for me. So stop limiting yourself and stop comparing yourself, because you are not going to be like anybody else. You are only going to be your own person. So stop thinking that you can't do something just because it's been such a major asset to your life or it's controlled you in the past. It doesn't matter. Just take it a step at a time and move in the right direction, and don't limit yourself, because you will be surprised about what you can accomplish. Oh, another tip. That's all this is. For me, I have discovered that working out can actually help get rid of the extra tension and help refocus, which for me, this is just kind of what I do. If I know that there's going to be something going on and I feel really anxious and like tense, it helps to do a little workout just to help me focus on my workout instead of how anxious I'm feeling, and it kind of gets rid of some extra energy. But maybe that's just a me thing that I did not Google. I just have kind of come to find that out. I think the last thing that I'm gonna say is depending on yourself, I think helps a lot. Telling yourself I'm gonna do this no matter what, and then doing it anyways and being fine with whatever outcome, because it doesn't matter, because either way you did the thing that you were afraid to do, or you did the thing that makes you anxious and you survived it. And when you accomplish something, it makes you feel like, oh my gosh, I can do this. And you just have to be patient with yourself and take it a day at a time, one moment at a time. I truly think that you can get where you want to be. And I am by far not advanced at this. I just felt like my younger self would have appreciated somebody telling me this, because I think for a long time I thought it was the end of the world. It obviously wasn't the end of the world. And I felt honestly like a freak about it. And even in high school, I was afraid to talk about it or afraid to accept that I was a specific way, like that I was anxious about certain things. And it just made me feel worse, because it seemed like nobody else had this problem, when now I'm realizing that there was definitely more people and I just didn't realize it. So just take it a day at a time, take it a step at a time, and I hope that one of these tips was beneficial to you. We'll see if I'm even brave enough to upload this to the internet. But honestly, I just wanted to share some tips in case someone else is watching this and they're thinking that they're all alone. No, sister or brother, no. Definitely not alone. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Comment down below if you have any good tips, if you have anxiety or panic attacks, anything that relates to the subject, comment it down below. Let's spread some positivity. Let's do some great things, because what better do we have to do than support each other? And we'll see if I upload this, because I'm honestly scared. I don't usually get this deep, but oh my gosh, I could like get emotional. But I just want to thank you guys for being here. Please be kind to me, because this is all just my experience. So whatever you experience differently, I don't want to say that this will work for everybody. I just am hoping that one of these tips could help somebody. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Feel free to hit the like and subscribe, and feel free to come back and hang out with me, because that's honestly all I want to do, is just hang out and have a good time and make some videos. So thank you guys again for being here, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out.